are officially 0%.
Oh my gosh.
KRZLE.
Yeah. Charles. Yeah. The synopsis just isn't good.
This former independent ranch foreman.
Butterfly kisses.
Oh my god.
This is my favorite part of the show. Welcome to What Was That Called Again? I'm Thomas.
I'm Will.
And this is a movie game show where I select 3 movies and read their IMDb plot descriptions to Will, who then has to try to match the plot description with the correct title.
Ooh.
And then afterwards,
I'm the audience. I'm the audience that's going like, ooh, ah.
Ooh. And then afterwards, he tries to rank the movies based on their IMDb star rating.
That's right.
And a little peek behind the curtain. At the time of recording, it's like
11:48
midnight. Yeah, and we probably haven't recorded in like 2.5 months.
I was wondering. I was trying to think. It has been a couple months at least since we recorded the first 8 episodes.
Yep.
So is this technically our second season?
I think the last time we recorded was like it was either the end of December or the beginning of October.
December?
Yeah.
Wow. You said December, I swear.
Oh, I might have September, the end of September or beginning of October.
Yeah, right around October-ish. And the last time we recorded, I know for sure we did not have a theme song yet, which we do now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we even had a title to this thing yet. Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had a title, I think, with
what was it called
the
again?
Second episode. Yeah, that's pretty much correct.
Okay, good.
So since it's been so long, how are you feeling? Are you feeling like you're going to do okay? Are you feeling like you don't know anything that's going on anymore and we're just like learning all over again?
You could probably do the first movies from the first 8 episodes, and I probably still wouldn't get them.
Yep.
So that's where my confidence is.
And maybe I did.
Oh, God.
Maybe I did. I am all set to go. If you are ready, we can dive right in.
I think I'm ready.
Okay.
Hit me with the first synopsis, please.
Oh, please, because you said please, I think I will. The first one that you
It'd
have...
be so weird. It'd be such a bad episode if you decided, no, I'm not going to. I'm not going to.
No, this week, I'm not doing it.
And that's it for us for episode 9. Thanks for listening.
Alrighty, here we go. This week, we're going to start with a movie from 1981.
Ooh, okay. 80s.
And the synopsis from IMDb reads as follows. A CIA operative takes justice in his own hands as his girlfriend is brutally murdered by terrorists. He carefully designs a plot to hunt down the terrorists after the crime and execute them one by one.
Ooh. Okay, that was really long, but I feel that sounds kind of familiar, or at least that feels familiar.
Okay.
I know I've said this before.
Every time, I think, like every episode.
I think so. It literally almost probably every movie, but I'm for sure every episode. But it really does. It has almost like a I don't want to say like a tropey, well, kind of a tropey synopsis there, especially for like 80s action films. But it just that has a sense of familiarity, I guess, where like I think I've at least seen something similar to that, which could throw me off. Read that to me one more time, just so I get it ingrained.
Okay, and these are all read directly as they are written from IMDb.
Oh, right.
So
we should say that. Yeah.
Sometimes it may not be the most accurate, but also it may be worded in a strange way because some of these are like just user submitted and they're not like proofread, evidently. So it reads as follows. A CIA operative takes justice in his own hands as his girlfriend is brutally murdered by terrorists. He carefully designs a plan to hunt down the terrorists after the crime and execute them one by one.
Okay. CIA operative takes justice into his own hands, which I'm pretty sure is the MO for the CIA. I don't know how that's any different than the CIA normally. But whatever. So CIA operative takes justice into his own hands after his girlfriend is kidnapped Brutally murdered.
Wow.
Brutally murdered.
Yeah. Sidebar is that Will is like infamously horrible. If this is your first time listening, he is infamously really, really bad at remembering movie titles and names. And like, evidently, if you read something to him, he will immediately forget everything that you just read to him.
I also want to say that even though it's been 2 months since the last time we recorded, the last 2 episodes I was on pain medication. This time I am on Dayquil and vodka, so I could definitely feel one of those two kicking in right now. I don't know which. But I think she was brutally murdered, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so
brutally
fuck you,
murdered.
I got it right. Okay, so an FBI informant went to take justice into his own. No wait, CIA operative.
Fucking douche.
CIA operative taking justice into his own hands after his girlfriend was brutally murdered by a gang of thugs. I can't remember anything after that. What was?
Do you want me to read it a third
He kills
time?
them one by one. That's all that really matters.
Yeah,
It's just
his girlfriend is murdered by terrorists, and then he
Terrorists.
goes and he tracks them down and kills them one by one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Group of thugs, terrorists, tomato.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. 1981. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
next.
then your second movie is coming from 1974.
Ooh. Okay.
And the synopsis reads as follows. An ambitious reporter gets in way over his head trouble
Ooh.
while investigating a senator's assassination, which leads to a vast conspiracy involving a multinational corporation behind every event
Jesus.
in the world's headlines.
That's deep. That's loaded.
Yeah.
So I like how it's an ambitious reporter, not just like a lackadaisical reporter
care
who just
about his
stumbles
job.
up. He's just like, he was wanting out of it. But then he's like, well, I guess I'll do one more story. And it happens to be about this multinational corporation that's behind every headline around the globe. Okay, so an ambitious reporter gets in over his head in trouble.
Gets in way over his head trouble while
over his head
investigating a
Is that all
senator's
hyphenated, by the
assassination.
way? Is way over his head trouble hyphenated?
Yes.
Oh wow, amazing. Okay. Whenever a senator is assassinated.
Yep. Investigating a senator's assassination, which
Right.
leads to a vast conspiracy involving a multinational corporation behind every event in the world's headlines.
Oh, not just behind. Oh, sorry. So I already misremembered that. So not just behind every headline, like I said originally, but behind every event of the world's headline. Okay. So,
Right.
So almost like there's one big conglomeration corp that is meddling with world events.
Yeah.
To get their way. Okay. So
Does that sound familiar?
Reporter, no, not really. No, seriously.
That might be the
doesn't.
second or third movie in this entire podcast that has not sounded familiar.
Maybe. Well, there's a key difference between sounded familiar and feels familiar.
Oh, right. I'm
feels,
sorry.
yeah. Feels
Whoa,
familiar.
sorry.
The last one gave me a vibe. This one, not so much. This one just sounds like reality.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
third one.
Moving on, the third and final movie for the evening, coming from 1972.
Okay, so we got 81, 74, and 72.
Correct. The synopsis for the final movie here reads as follows. No, okay, well, let me note really fast that this one is one that is like not worded well at all, and I'm pretty sure.
I want it verbatim though. Don't
Yes,
change anything.
I read it as verbatim, as it is written from IMDb, as I am to do on this show. It reads as follows. A man is in radio contact with his family when their plane is shot down. He wants those responsible and becomes a criminal to get a job as deep-sea diver with those salvaging the plane's cargo.
What the fuck? Okay, so a guy is in radio contact with his family whenever their plane is shot down.
Yep.
He then decides to go find them by getting a job as an underwater diver in hopes to find the wreckage. Like what is going on?
I don't know.
Aren't there better ways? Aren't there better ways to find your family?
Reads. I'll read it one more time as it is written, just
Okay.
because it's so crazy how it's written.
1972.
A man is in radio contact with his family when their airplane is shot down. That's the first sentence. That's easy to understand.
I wonder if his motivation would have changed if he wasn't in radio contact when they were shot down. Like if he hung up the radio right before they got shot down, and then he finds out about it later on. Would that change his motivation? Like a butterfly flaps its wings type thing?
Probably so. He'd probably just accept their death and
he heard it
move
happen.
on.
Yeah, exactly. Because he heard it happened.
Yeah.
Like in real time, he has to go.
But because he heard it happen, to continue with the synopsis, he wants those responsible and becomes a criminal to get a job as a deep-sea diver with those salvaging the plane's cargo.
So he becomes a criminal. I forgot. I didn't even hear that part, I don't think.
Yeah.
I was so lost in the first part. So, okay. So he's talking to his family on the radio.
Yep.
Who is flying without him for some reason.
Yep.
In I'm guessing a private plane. And he hears them be shot down. And so he decides he wants the attackers. He wants to find them. And the only way to do that, he has decided, is to, one, become a criminal.
Yep.
And then two, become a deep sea diving criminal.
Yep.
Okay.
to get a job as deep sea diver with those salvaging the plane's cargo.
Okay.
Not as a deep sea diver. It's just get a job as deep sea diver.
As deep sea diver.
Yep.
As deep sea. Okay. All right. Thank you. I know you probably didn't include this with your notes, but from now on, I think if you can, try to include the name of the IMDb user. There
is not one.
Oh, it wasn't listed. Oh,
I would have written it. Yep.
So then, from now on, everything that is anonymously written like that, we're going to revert back to episode 2, Be Sus, whatever his name was.
Be Sus 1412 or whatever the fuck.
It'll always be Be Sus's fault. He'll be like the running character in the background.
Yeah, we can just assume this is the same guy.
Oh, that one. Okay, so that one's heavy. That one sounds like if one of these 3 movies, especially that one, doesn't have Michael Caine in it, I'm gonna be blown away.
Oh, interesting.
That just feels like a Michael Caine movie for some reason. I don't know why. Probably the Dayquil. Okay, so let me try to recap on my own.
Dayquil, side effects, Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. Dayquil side effects. Even though it doesn't say non-drowsy, sometimes it can be. And then like dry mouth, constipation, Michael Caine. It's just like he's like the 4th one on the list.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first movie was 1981.
Correct.
And it was about a hold on, I know what it is. I'm just organizing the sentence in my head. I'm not stalling at all. This is not a stall tactic. The 1981 film was a CIA operative who decided to take justice into his own hands after his girlfriend was brutally murdered by terrorists, and he decides to hunt them down and kill them one by one.
Yes.
Thank you. The second film was 1974.
Yep.
And it was about something. Hold on. It was about I'm just thinking about Michael Caine now. I don't know. Read the second one again for me, please.
Okay. It is an ambitious reporter gets in way over his head trouble.
The conglomeration, the world headline thing. Okay, so I'll say it. So 1974, it's about an ambitious reporter who gets in over his head trouble, or whatever the hyphenated word was of that, whenever while investigating a senator's assassination, he discovers a conspiracy theory that a world organization, conglomeration. You said there's a different word for that.
Multinational corporation.
A multinational corporation might be behind all of the world's major headlines.
Yeah,
roughly that. I think
behind every event in the world's headlines. Yeah.
Okay. 1974. Ambitious journalist. Okay. Yep. And then the last one was 1972.
Yes.
And it was Michael Caine is listening to the radio. Okay. It was a guy
listening to his family's death on the plane is broadcast live on the
91.2 the death. Okay, so not Michael Caine. So I got to stop thinking that. So 1972, while in communication with his family, who is flying on the radio, they're not flying on the radio. He's in communication on the radio while they're flying. His family is shot down. And to find the evil people who did this, he decides to become a criminal and join an underwater salvaging team.
Yep. Yeah, that's all the information we got on that one.
Oh my gosh. Whew, buddy. Okay. So these are all definitely like the in the action, but also like the what would be now known as like the Liam Neeson Taken sort of vibe, right? I guess that middle one with the journalist isn't quite that, but we're discovering something that maybe is nefarious, and there's an organization involved. Okay, so maybe like a Born Identity type vibe there too. I'm just spitballing here out loud. I'm just trying to prep myself for what the titles might be. Okay, I think I'm ready. Hit me.
Okay, the first title you have to work with.
Oh gosh,
is going to be.
This always makes me so nervous because it's going to be something like Butterfly Kisses, which is going to piss me off.
Your first title is going to be Fear is the Key.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, fear is the key.
Yep.
Okay, hold on. So fear is the key. So that kind of feels like. So that doesn't give me any like vibes of like a certain time period, because these are all kind of clustered, at least within a decade of each other, and this is kind of a genre that that I don't really think they really had to do too much to kind of push, the sales, at least a VHS sales of this, or like a home video, or even a movie ticket, because these kind of sold themselves. So they would never do anything like edgy or whatever in the title, maybe, but that's my theory right now. So that doesn't help me any. But fear, was it called Fear is Key?
Fear is the Key.
Fear is the Key. That kind of feels like. Let's see, CIA? Is it CIA? Operative? Justice in his own hands? Murder? Girlfriend? Terrorist? No. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. Does it feel like Michael Caine listened to the radio and then a family dies on the airplane? No, not really. Because I don't feel like. I feel like, unofficially, I still hear the second and third one. But the first thing that jumped out at me was the ambitious reporter story, where there's this whole idea of fear is the thing that this multinational corporation is using to kind of control the world. I'm just going to go that route for now until I hear the other two. So hit me with the other two.
All right. The next title you have to work with is going to be The Parallax View.
Oh, I love that. Because I really love parallax. I used to do a lot of parallax photography editing. Fun stuff. The Parallax View. So that actually feels more like the reporter one now that I hear it. Okay, third one.
The third title you have is The Amateur.
Oh. Maybe the guy listening to the radio was like an amateur radio operator. Maybe that's what that means. And he's also an amateur underwater diver. And he's also an amateur criminal. So he's just like everything he does, he's just padding his resume with things that he only does briefly. Because I don't think you would call a CIA operative amateur. The Amateur. Is it called The Amateur?
Yeah, The Amateur.
Oh, I've already forgotten it. Okay, The Amateur. I don't think you would call the CIA operative The Amateur. I don't think you would call an ambitious reporter an amateur, unless he was like a rookie reporter, like he wanted to like prove himself in the newsroom, so he went on this like crazy conspiracy theory thing, and his colleagues were like, "Oh, the amateur over here, thinking he's got a story," and then he does, like he actually like cracks a huge case. That's a possibility. So far I've thought all three titles are the
You I want to just state that you started that sentence by saying that it wouldn't be that one, and then you talked yourself into like it could be that one. Like by the end of this sentence.
You know what? That first thought was wrong. Yeah, maybe. Okay. And then the amateur, I still feel like, though, because in the synopsis, at least, as poorly written as it was, there is not one mention of what the guy does professionally to start with while listening to his family die on the radio.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So he could just be a guy, right? Or he could like have a particular set of skills.
As you said, he's just an amateur.
Well, but he becomes an amateur by doing all these other things that he has to do to go find the people who did this. Like he's not a detective. Like that's not his, like, you know, he's not like part of the FBI, CIA. So he has no real skills on how to actually find these people.
Mm-hmm.
He just has what he heard, and he kind of knows where the plane was at. So that already labels him as like an amateur, right? So he's up against his own lack of knowledge and skills, and then he has to do these other things, career paths or whatever lifestyle choices that he probably isn't also familiar with. Like I'm sure he's not used to being a criminal. I'm sure he's not used to helping with underwater rescue. So I feel like maybe that is the best fit. Okay, so let me just recap myself. So I have the amateur was the last one. Fear is the key is the first one you gave. And then parallax view was the second one that you gave.
Okay.
Is that a confirmation? Okay.
And you're walking them in?
No. I'm just giving him the order that you gave me.
Okay.
You said the amateur last. You said fear is the key first, and then you said parallax view second.
Okay.
So I was just giving them in the order you gave them. Yeah. So don't lock me in yet. Parallax view is the one that I really don't know. I kind of feel like terrorism, fear is the key. Like that kind of feels like that fits. Parallax view, parallax meaning seeing, sort of seeing things from a different perspective, or having a deeper perspective, or a shifting perspective. That could be the reporter one. So I think I'm going to just lock it in that order, actually. So the 1981 CIA operative whose girlfriend is brutally murdered by terrorists and who he chooses to hunt them down one by one is called Fear is the Key. The 1974 ambitious reporter who, while researching or covering the assassination of a senator, uncovers a conspiracy theory about a multinational corporation who is behind all of the world's major headlines. And then 1972 is The Amateur, not starring Michael Caine, but is about a guy listening to his family die while they're on an airplane via the radio. And he decides to take up a life of crime or become a criminal so he can go underwater rescue diving to hopefully find the bad guys.
Which I like that the synopsis implies that it's criminals that are salvaging the plane's cargo.
No, I didn't take
looking
that.
for the
I
records.
took it as like the only thing that, like, the only way into underwater diving is that he has to first like rob a bank or something. I was like, I see on your resume that we're a real professional group of guys here. This is a dangerous job.
Yeah,
you're underwater in some pretty bad places, and you're dealing with some pretty bad situations. So I just want to take a look here at your resume. Oh, I see you got some experience with some scuba. Okay, that's great. We do a lot of that. We do primarily scuba, actually. I'm not seeing any crime on here. You haven't?
Oh, I robbed a bank.
Oh, but was that within the last 5 years?
Yeah, that was 3 months ago.
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't put that on your CV, so I didn't see that. So
Yeah, you got to turn the page over.
there it is, right above education. It's the last one. I got you now. All right. Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me. It sounded like they weren't going to hire him unless he was a criminal.
Yeah.
Like that was the only way in. Okay, so I'm going to lock that in.
Okay.
I hope I got something right.
With that submission of answers, the big return to the show.
Drum roll,
you
please.
got one correct.
Oh, damn it! I don't know which one though, because I'm not confident on any of them. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm gonna. Oh man, I'm the most confident in the amateur, but even that is not very confident because I still think the amateur could be the reporter. So, having said that, I'm going to switch the first two. So I'm going to say, for some reason, Parallax View is the CIA operative whose girlfriend is brutally murdered by terrorists, yada, 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 1981. And then I'm going to say Fear is the Key, which is what I originally said when you first said it, is the 1974 ambitious reporter who's covering a senator's assassination and uncovers a conspiracy theory about a multinational corporation controlling the headlines by being behind all the major events globally. And I'm going to keep the amateur as the 1972 one with Michael Caine.
Okay.
Even though it's not Michael Caine.
No, I can confirm Michael Caine is not in any of these three movies.
Damn it, I'm really disappointed. A young Michael Caine.
Maybe he should have been, but
he
he's
should have
not.
been. He should have either been. He could have been any of these characters. I could see Michael Caine as the CIA operative. I could
especially
see him
in
as
this
the ambitious
era,
reporter.
in the early to mid 70s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this
like a young Michael Caine
yep.
with like the shirt partially unbuttoned, and he's becoming a criminal so he can underwater dive like that. That's Michael Caine.
He got
You
the
tell me that
Italian
is not
job, so I think he did all right.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Okay, did I get any better?
No, you got 0 now.
Oh, damn it. Really?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Tell me what they are.
Okay. So, completely against your judgment, the 1981 film is The Amateur.
Really?
A
Why?
CIA operative
Why
takes
on
justice
earth
in
would
his
that be
own
called The
hands.
Amateur?
I don't know. I have seen it. Why it's called The Amateur, not sure. I guess because I don't know. Actually, I do not know.
That makes zero sense to me.
That one
He's
is
a
the
CIA
amateur.
operative. Is he like a rookie operative? Like what? Like usually those guys are pretty well trained.
Typically. No, this guy does, for a CIA operative, he seems pretty clueless the whole time. He's like,
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's just an idiot.
1974 is The Parallax View.
Okay,
You
so
had
see,
that one correct.
I had that one and I changed it. Damn it.
The ambitious reporter played by Warren Beatty.
Okay. I mean, I was saying Michael Caine, but Warren Beatty is a good second choice for this movie.
Yeah. And
I think Michael Caine passed on it.
That leaves 1972 is Fear is the Key. And it is the only one of these three that I have not seen. And
I should have guessed that. I didn't realize you hadn't seen one. Sorry. We usually play that game.
Yep. I didn't say that in the beginning. But yeah, this is the only one of the three that I have not seen. And I actually only found out about this movie's existence like 4 or 5 days ago via
while researching this
via
episode.
an email from Arrow Video, because they're putting out a Blu-ray of this. I think in January or February.
Fear is the
time of
key.
recording. Yeah.
New for 2024. Okay.
So now you got to try to guess the star rankings of these three movies, or the order.
Okay.
From
Yeah.
high to low.
Which out of these three is first, second, and third? Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. First, before we go into that little tidbit, are these streaming anywhere?
The only one that I could find, so the Parallax View you can rent. The Amateur is difficult to find. Fear is the Key is available on the Criterion channel at the time of recording. Whenever I looked,
and then also for a little bit more help with the rating system, you said Warren Beatty was in the second one.
Yeah.
Do we have any more information on cast or crew?
Yeah.
On these films.
Yeah. So The Amateur from 1981 is directed by some guy named Charles Jarrett.
I
didn't personally recognize
he's a national hero.
his other movies.
How do you not know that name?
However,
we're going to have a second podcast spinoff called Thomas Doesn't Know
the
Amazing
Jarrett
Directors.
Report. The Charles Jarrett Report.
I'm totally kidding. I have no idea who that is.
I will say that The Amateur is written by a Diana Maddox, who may not sound familiar offhand, but she is a screenwriter on the original The Changeling from 1980, the horror movie. And this movie stars John Savage and Christopher Plummer and Arthur Hill.
Okay.
Parallax View is directed by Alan J. Pakula, who would go on to do Sophie's Choice, The Pelican Brief,
Never heard of it.
Presumed Innocent,
All
the President's Men.
Never heard of it.
So he did this movie. This is actually, The Parallax View is like part 2 of a quote-unquote paranoia trilogy is what it's dubbed.
Oh, okay.
Starting with Clute in 1971.
Okay.
This one in 1974, and then All the President's Men in
interesting.
What was it? 76 or 7.
Didn't know that All the President's Men was part of a. I mean, I'm sure it's almost like a spiritual series, right? They're not like
right.
Okay, yeah.
It's like in the vein
thematic.
of like the 70s, like post Nixon conspiracy era that they were in.
That's interesting. Cool.
And again, it stars Warren Beatty, like I said, and it is written by a David Giler, who would go on to do Southern Comfort, Money Pit, and story by credit on Aliens.
Never heard of it.
And also co-written by a Lorenzo Semple Jr., who would do...
That name sounds familiar.
The screenplay for Papillon with Steve McQueen and Dustin Hoffman, 3 Days in the Condor, and he would go on to do Flash Gordon as well. And then Fear is the Key from 1972. What I have for you, like I said, it's coming out on the Arrow Video here in a few months at the time of recording, and it is written by a Robert Carrington, who had written the screenplay most notably for Wait Until Dark, and a Barry Newman, who wrote Vanishing Point.
I've actually never heard of either.
It seems like those titles didn't have much of an impact.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of it. I mean, Vanishing Point, maybe. What was the first one he did? You said he did?
The co-writer on that same movie had done Wait Until Dark.
Wait Until Dark. Yeah, I hadn't heard of that one either.
Wait Until Dark is from 1967. It has Audrey Hepburn and
See,
Alan Arkin.
That's like a big, I guess, blind spot in my film knowledge. The late 60s, mostly because I slept through that part of film history class a lot. So, okay, so now that I know all of this, or have forgotten everything you said, I will now try to guess the rank of these, the IMDb rank. This is the user rating, and it's only between these three. So, man, 70s, 80s, early 80s, actiony, like, I mean, they sound like good movies, and the fact that like the Parallax View kind of has a pedigree, at least more of a pedigree, it seems like. Oh, that's interesting. So, okay, this one's tough because usually you can or I can pretty much pick out like what the bottom one is, or what the top one is, and then it's just kind of fitting the middle one in. But this one, they all kind of feel kind of the same, I mean, as far as like potential quality goes. So, I'm going to say, just because the title is upsetting, that's the only reason why I'm doing this. I'm going to say The Amateur is last, is third position. I will say Fear is the Key, I'll say, is first, just because fear is in the title. Oh, man, I'm going to hate that. I think it's the other way around. But I'm going to say Fear is the Key, and then just right behind it will be Parallax View. Only because I think people will watch fear. I think the word fear will make people watch that movie more and rate it more. I'm just, it's bad logic, but I'm just trying to figure out something here. I think Parallax will kind of like maybe shy people away a little bit more, but I think it's just right behind Fear is the Key. So it's going to be Fear is the Key, Parallax View, and then The Amateur. But I think they're all like clustered like in the 7s. So I'm going to lock that in.
Well, it was bad logic because the Parallax View is the highest rated.
Son of a bitch.
With a 7.1.
Oh, okay.
It is in the Criterion Collection.
Right. Yeah.
Fear is the Key is number 2.
See, I was flipping the coin on those.
6.3.
Okay, that's a big drop though.
And then the Amateur is the 3rd.
That's
with
right.
A 5.8.
Right, because it makes no sense. The title makes no sense at all.
It's just the Amateur. I did not care for. I was actually very disappointed with it because I thought it sounded great, and then I'm a big fan of John Savage. Actually, I love him. And he hasn't done very many leading roles, and so I was really excited to see him in a leading role in something like this. And it was just the movie. The opening of it was amazing. The opening scene was incredible, and
kind of like the Turkey
Express.
movie. Yeah, Midnight Express. Sorry.
Yeah, it was like that, and then it just immediately just hit a wall, and then you're just kind of like, all right, well.
I wonder if that was Wait, Midnight Express, was that 80s as well?
No, that was
late 70s.
70s.
78 or something like that, right?
I believe so. Yes.
So I wonder if it's just and I'm just spitballing here, but I wonder if like this is some kind of issue with the timing where someone, either a writer, a director, a producer, or a studio, were trying to go back 10 years to films that did well in 10 years earlier in this same genre and try to like recapture that moment, and they just couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, because it's interesting that like it seems like there was a shift. But I'm trying to think out loud here as far as, I don't know if it was like audience shift or what, but it feels like early 80s cop or like crime action films all kind of suffer the same, to me, I'm just speaking personally, I'm trying to like equate it to a more broad view than my personal opinion. But to me personally, it seems like there are early 80s like actiony films that are like cop dramas or like crime dramas. Like unless there's like a comedy element to them, they just kind of like, okay, that happened. Whereas for some reason, like mid 70s, early 70s, like there was actually some like, grit to the movies and actually some like substance to the movies. Anyway, but I just don't know. I'm thinking out loud again, but that's interesting that The Amateur not only has the worst title but also is the worst movie. So, and you said you have seen that one. It was Fear is the Key you haven't seen.
Correct. Yeah, I love the Parallax View. I think that is fantastic.
Yeah, I was really 50-50 on those. I really with that being like with the bigger pedigree. And now that I know that it's in like a trilogy, a spiritual trilogy, or like a thematic trilogy or whatever, I really should have like flipped on that one. But I was just thinking that maybe Fear, the title Fear, would have elicited more views and then therefore equated to a little bit higher of a rating. But I was wrong. I should have not done that. Bad logic once again wins or loses. Correct.
This week we have a new segment. Where I have actually pulled a quote from IMDb from one of these movies. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read him the quote that I have selected. And then Will's going to try to just completely blindly guess which of the 3 movies this quote is from.
I legitimately forgot we were doing this. I even forgot that I told you not to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I totally forgot we were doing this. I love the idea of this. I'm really excited. I guess I'm really excited to hear, 1, what quote you chose, and then 2, to try to figure out how this fits in to any of these 3. So please bring this.
Good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
The quote that you have for this week is going to read as follows. Quote, "They say a martini is like a woman's breast. One ain't enough, and three is too many." End quote.
I completely disagree with that last part. Three tits is universally known as the best thing.
Yes.
Okay. So say it one more time.
Yeah. Quote.
Wait. If you can, regardless of if you've seen this or not, I want you to do this in character.
Okay.
Okay.
This would be great. Okay.
or as Michael Caine. One of the two.
I can't do a good Michael Caine. I wish if I did one, it would just be really embarrassing. So I'll just deliver this
myself for 45 minutes.
That's fine. That's what everybody expects on this
okay,
show.
No, you're right. Yeah. Okay.
I'm like the straight man on this show.
Okay.
They say a martini is like a woman's breast. One ain't enough, and three is too many.
Okay. That was good. I have some notes, but that was good. Okay. I felt like you were giving me CIA operative, but maybe not. Maybe you were giving me CEO of multinational corporation.
I felt like you were giving me CIA operative. They say a martini is like a woman's breast. One ain't enough, and three is too many. What was the other one you said?
I said or CEO of a multinational corporation.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it's one of the two. I don't think, because we don't know who the baddies are in the Fear's the Key movie. And
well, we know that the guy gets involved with criminals to become a fucking
but I don't think
diver.
any of those would be drinking martinis. Not that
You think that they just live by or in the water and they don't go out to drink?
No, I feel like maybe they don't have such a. I mean, not to disparage criminal underwater divers, but I feel like they maybe don't have such a sophisticated drink. Let's see here. I mean, sorry to pass judgment.
Okay, yeah.
No, I really
apologies to all of our divers that we have listening.
No, not the divers. It's the criminal underwater.
The criminal divers. If you're a criminal diver listening and you love martinis, send us an email.
Yeah, we have an email address just for that. That's all we are. Actually, I want to know the drink of choice of criminal underwater salvagers.
I would love that.
Yeah, and how to make it. Okay, so let's see here. A CIA operative, or because he's hunting terrorists. No, I really feel like this is Parallax View. No, I don't, because I don't think what's his face would have written a line like this. They say
David Geiler or Lorenzo Semple Jr.
Yeah, they say a martini is like a woman's breast. One is not enough, and three is too many.
One ain't enough.
One ain't enough. Oh, so you're okay. Maybe this is a roughneck underwater diver.
I'm just correcting.
I'm just going off of
phrasing of the quote.
I'm just going off of the performance you gave, because that's all I have. Okay.
That's all I have.
That's really all I have to
is the way I read it just now off of the fucking paper.
You were giving a sophisticated underwater criminal. Okay. I feel the pressure. Okay, I'm gonna just have to say this is really a shot in the dark. Complete guess. I will go with Parallax View. Final answer.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
You got it.
Does it say who said it? Does it say what the character's name is?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was hoping the character's name was multinational CEO.
I do not recall that line being spoken, but I believe IMDb, I guess, if they say that it was said, then I'm sure it was.
Somebody in the background said it, like in passing.
I'm sure somebody said it at some point.
Yeah. It was actually in the deleted scenes.
Yeah. It's spoken by somebody named Gail.
Gail. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a Gail that says it.
Is it a female?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah.
Maybe she's flirting.
That's a hell of a flirt line.
Because she's like, I have 2 martinis right here. Is actually the next line. And then she just shakes her chest. I've got 2 dirty martinis right here. Okay, so wait. So now that you know that it's Gale,
or the Total Recall chick walks by with the 3 boobs.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, that line is total bullshit. 3 is always the best. But now that you know it's Gale, I want you to give me your best Gale and reread that line.
They say a martini is a woman's
Hold on,
breast.
stop. I can only be so aroused. Just let me not watch you do this. So I don't have to like interrupt you with a laugh. Okay, I'm gonna close my eyes. You go again. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there with my eyes closed. I'm in a bar. I'm in like a bar. Like, everyone's like, this is like a suit and tie type place. This is a very sophisticated. Maybe this is like a gay, some kind of like really big important meeting or party, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Gale, go ahead.
Gale overhears you order a martini. So let's start with you ordering your martini from the.
Okay, wait. Am I ordering 1 or 3?
No. You're saying give me another martini.
Okay. So
You've already had 1 or 2.
Okay, so I stumble up to the bar and I put my empty martini glass down.
Yeah.
And I take the toothpick out and I suck on the olive and I go, I gotta get another martini.
You know.
Well, sorry,
they say a martini is like
something?
a woman's
What's
breast.
What's that?
1 ain't enough, and 3 is too many.
Oh, bullshit. 3 is amazing.
My name's Gale, by the way.
Can I get 3 martinis, actually?
Hey, what did I just say?
But I've already had 2, so this would be 5.
5 is way overboard.
5 is almost a cow. It's like an animal mother. Okay, that was a good Gale. All right, so
Thanks.
How did I do this episode? I think I got like 0 right, and then I got.
You had 1 right, and then you got 0, and then
so I got 0. That's what I did. Yeah.
You got 1 right on the ranking, and then
I got the new game.
The quote correct.
The quote correct. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So now, in the episode, I can't get this out of my head.
Mm-hmm.
I need to figure out the opening scene to our movie, in which, a guy who just randomly is listening to the radio and hears his family die decides to become a criminal, and then pursue underwater diving. I keep saying underwater diving. I keep meaning to say underwater rescue, but I keep saying underwater diving, and I know that's redundant because clearly you can't dive anywhere else.
Yeah.
So I apologize to everyone screaming, what does he mean by underwater dive? I know. I keep saying it. I keep hearing it too. Underwater salvage. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
So what crime is the underwater salvage team looking for? Like, what is the skill set that they need? Or we can also take it this way. Is this actually about underwater criminals? Because I think submarines are an untapped market for the burglar.
Yeah, I mean, that's based on the synopsis. That's on IMDb. That's possible because it just says that he becomes a criminal to get a job as deep sea diver with those salvaging the plane's cargo.
So
maybe they're just rooting through, like, stealing luggage.
Maybe that's like a weird way of saying, like, treasure hunters.
Like, they're like stealing wallets from the dead people.
Yeah, or just like going, like you said, just going through like suitcases. Like maybe there's some valuables in there, but you won't know until you open it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm back in. Okay. So
he's got to like pickpocket people or something.
Well, I mean that's easy when they're dead.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm going with it. So what crime or like what criminal history do you think they prefer? Like let's say it's you and 2 other guys in the lobby of Underwater Crime Inc. and you're all there because there's a now hiring sign on the door, and the three of you all have a criminal past, but a very different criminal past.
Yeah.
So, which one of you gets the job based solely on the criminal history?
The pickpocketer.
Okay. What are the other two crimes, or what are the other two criminals? Rap sheets say
battery.
Okay. Oh no. Okay, you're right. No. I like this. So,
Yeah.
So definitely, if you walk into this place, and it just says wanted, underwater rescue salvage, crime record, preferred, criminal history preferred. So you see that in the classifieds for some reason, and no cop cares. So you go. Oh, I mean, I beat my wife twice, so this sounds up my alley. So you go, okay, and then your second guy goes, hey, I worked a year in Paris doing pickpocketing. I'm going to try this. The
other one's Grand Theft Auto.
The other one's Grand Theft Auto. Okay. I don't know. I think Grand Theft Auto might actually be kind of a cool thing to use, because you could always steal the plane, right?
The plane's been crashed.
And the people are dead. So
but the pickpocketer. So these criminals, so they get like, they basically get like short ends, but they get it like with the oxygen tanks. They get like the leftover oxygen tanks, like because they're criminals. They're not like paying for the full right brand new tanks that are like.
I don't want a fully charged tank. Just give me whatever you got.
Yeah. So they get pickpocketers to do the scavenging. I guess, really, because
I think scavenging is the right term, because they're both finding it and also doing something else with it.
So they need pickpocketers to get in and get out quick, and pickpocketers can really like they can just dig through those pockets and like get everything out like really, really fast and efficient.
Okay, I think I like this. I like this that like, but I think what's key though is that because the pickpocketer, like he did this in all the big tourist cities around the world for years, right? Since a little kid, like this guy is like, professional at this job. He's been in it for like 2 decades, right? He's like 27 now, and he's been like, he's been pickpocketing all of his life.
Never been caught once.
Exactly. Or if he has, he's always been able to talk his way out of it, right? He's just really good. And he has like a certain style where like, he comes up behind you or beside you, whatever, and all he has to do is like, move his 2 like little fingers, and then your pocket's open, and then he slips in and out, gone. I would love it if to translate this to underwater. So they hire him, and they're like, yeah, we got these tanks. They're not even full, and we're never going to fill them. In fact, it's the same tank. We just have to keep making these dives be shorter and shorter. So you've got to get in and out. So we're going to hire you because of your pickpocketing skills. But the key, the caveat though, is that he still has to do like the same. Like he can't just dive down and like reach his hand in the pocket and like and take the wallet or whatever. No, he has to like brush up against them and like pretend like he's like walking beside him and do like the little pocket maneuver thing. Like he has to, because he's so trained in that way. He can't do it he can't just reach his hand in and go. It just won't work that way. He has to do all the same.
He's like at first he's like trying to like bump into them and like do it his original way, but it's like for what he needs to do, it's taking too long, and they start getting pissed off at him. They're like, no, just like get in there and get out. And so he goes back down, and he like just tries to come in like from the front and just reach his hand in, but he can't get his hand in the
exactly because he's not used to that movement. He's not used to that positioning. He has to literally be right beside the person. So like if it's like a crashed plane, and people are still like in their seats, like seat belted in, and the fucking plane's like on its side, halfway upside down, he has to maneuver his body to where he's like, in the same orientation, and then he just like and I'm like, I got like a little like Finding Nemo flipper going on over here where it's like reaching into his pocket, and like just in and out real quick. But he's faster that way, weirdly enough, because that's just what he's been doing forever, and he can't undo it. And this is the story of a guy who just, he finds that even in a world of adversity with the underwater limitations and obstacles, that he can still just be himself and be but he has to do it his way. He can't like conform. He can't, I like it. That's really touching.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a sweet little story. That's probably exactly what this movie is like.
Yeah. Was it called The Amateur? No, it's called
Fear's the Key.
Fear's the Key. God. We need to like retitle ours. We need to like Wet
Pocket Fisherman.
Pocket Fisherman. There it is. Pocket Fisherman. Oh my God. Trademarked. Wait, we can't. Oh man, that's so good. Pocket Fisherman. Okay. And on that note, thanks for listening. What was that called again?
Oh, fuck.
Oh man. I gotta stop recording.
Yep, me too.